Welcome back here today in beautiful Marianna, Florida. We don't get a chance to get out of the studio as often as we would like, and today is one of those rare opportunities here in beautiful Marianna, right now at Farm Credit of Northwest Florida. We're here with Emily Lowe, one of the loan officers with Farm Credit. When we come back, we're going to talk about all the reasons why you should probably look a little more closely at Farm Credit of Northwest Florida if you're in the market to buy land, to buy a home. They are a community partner. They take an opportunity to co-op with many organizations around town, putting on many of the special events, which you probably enjoy every year, some of which you're unaware, but we're going to solve all that when we come back. We're going to talk to Emily about exactly what is Farm Credit of Northwest Florida, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. As mentioned, our guest today is Emily Lowe with Farm Credit of Northwest Florida. Now, lest I get it wrong, what is your exact job title?
My job title is loan officer.
That's easy enough.
That's right.
So often we meet with somebody and they might as well have a billboard for a name tag because their title gets pretty convoluted. Loan officer. Now, let's start at the grassroots, Emily. What is Farm Credit of Northwest Florida?
Farm Credit of Northwest Florida is a cooperative. We are part of the bigger farm credit system that serves the 50 states and Puerto Rico in the United States. And so the purpose of who we are or what we are and why we're even here is Congress created us back in 1916 to provide a reliable source of credit for farmers, ranchers, and rural homeowners. So that is what we're here for, and we've been doing it for 100 years.
Wow. So maybe stretching a point a little bit, but sort of like the land grant colleges in the country, they were set aside for a specific reason to deal with a specific group of people to make sure that those people had that opportunity. Farm Credit of Northwest Florida, I would presume by the name that you typically, your branch anyway, works within that Northwest Florida area. What area do you actually serve?
We do. We serve the 18 counties across Northwest Florida, from Escambia and Santa Rosa County out to the west, all the way to Taylor and Madison County out to the east. So we serve, all types of farmers, from your traditional row crop farmers to our timber landowners, recreational property owners, and rural homeowners.
So basically Tallahassee to Pensacola?
Pretty much, yes.
And then obviously from the Gulf of Mexico to the Alabama line?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you personally deal with business that's done in that entire area, or is yours a little bit more targeted?
Okay, so I primarily focus on the real estate industry and timber. I do have clients spread out throughout Northwest Florida, but also I have clients that are located in other parts of the country. We've had a lot of people that are interested in coming to the Panhandle because, for the tax laws that are here in Florida, as well as land being less expensive from where they've lived. So we have a lot of people that are coming here to retire, invest, and so that's kind of what I handle. Yeah,
at one time, we were saying that there was something like 1,000 people a day coming to the state of Florida. Now that was, I think, in the 50s to the 80s, when the big land booms were going on, and we see all that development to our south. Fortunately, and I think probably the reason that you have so much going on here in Northwest Florida, and the reason that we personally live here, is because we don't. People who hear the word Florida, they think of Daytona Beach.
That's
they
right.
think of beach buggies on the sand with bikinis and all the partying, or they think of Miami with Miami Beach and all that, or the Keys. Florida could easily be divided into several states just because it has such disparate people, customs, heritage, and culture. In Northwest Florida, we might as well be Southeast Alabama when you come right down to it. People sometimes call this area LA for Lower Alabama. Panama City Beach was once painted, and I probably still is to some extent, as the Redneck Riviera. But because of the agrarian economy here in Jackson County. You produce more peanuts than any county anywhere in the world.
That's correct.
Many people don't know that.
Right.
Can you talk to that agricultural-based economy here at all?
Well, I don't primarily do those type of loans, but we do have a loan officer who's very seasoned and handles those clients very well. But we have a lot of farmers that do peanuts and cotton and cattle here in Jackson County and, of course, the surrounding areas. So.
People think farmers get rich because they do have a lot of money that passes through their account. However, as much as comes in generally also goes out. You see those big tractors, you see those feed bills, you see those drought years when all of their crops are lost. You certainly don't get rich being a farmer. We work with the Marianna City Farmers Market to help market that for them. And one thing that they say is that every once in a while you have to see a doctor, every once in a while you may have to see a lawyer, but a farmer plays into your lifestyle every single day, multiple times a day, and how important that agricultural-based economy is to Jackson County. You say you deal mainly with real estate and timber. Does that mean that you deal with all sorts of real estate transactions, from land to high-end homes?
So I do. So yes, the answer is yes. I handle transactions. People want to buy lifestyle farms that are 5 acres, and they just want to do blueberries or have a small hobby farm, all the way to clients that own tens of thousands of acres. So I kind of have a wide range there. So, and then I also most recently just started doing home loans. I wanted to add that to the list of products that I can provide to my clients, simply because a lot of them have purchased over the years or are purchasing now a piece of land, and they plan to retire here or move their family to Jackson County. So I wanted to be able to provide that service to them as well.
We all know that we had the perfect storm where we had the oil spill, we had a series of hurricanes, and we had the financial crisis all at the same time, not many years into the new millennium. In 2005 to 7, a lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of people were dispossessed from their homes. We were living a false lifestyle. I think that it's inarguable that we all probably sort of knew in the back of our mind that things really weren't as good as what they appeared to be. Heck, mortgage brokers were staying as busy as they could possibly be. Realtors were selling houses when they went to dinner and met somebody at the next table, and that's literally people were going to the closing table and getting money back, even with nothing in the game, no down payment or any kind of a deposit. So we were living sort of a fake lifestyle. The poop hit the fan, so to speak. Are things significantly improved in that intervening 10, 12, 13 years? You say that you're busy. Are we seeing a lot of activity now in the home building and in the real estate fields right now? Are things better? Yes,
I would say that the time period that you're referring to, where everything kind of blew up, there were a lot of people in the market that were wanting to make a fast buck, and so there was a lot of flipping and people purchasing properties and had no intention of keeping it. As we have recovered, as Florida's economy has recovered in that perspective in terms of, purchasing property and all, we are seeing more end users. And so with that comes, we have had more calls for construction loans, home purchases, even refinances to do remodels and in their homes. And more recently, in the last 9 months or so, we started also financing double wide mobile homes and larger on a piece of property. So we recognize that there's more demand out there, and we're here to provide that financing.
Now, due to the nature of the tenant under which your organization was created and the business that you provide for those who you do, can you literally work with anybody?
Almost. The best thing to do is to contact one of the loan officers, one of us. And what we do is we'll ask a series of questions, because we do have to work within a scope and eligibility type talk. And so what we do is we look at clients at different levels of farmers. We have a lot of clients. We all obviously want to take care of our core traditional farmers who their primary source of income comes from the farm. But a lot of our clients also earn their income off the farm. We have a lot of people that are doctors and lawyers and teachers and tugboat operators. You know, all of those kinds of individuals, we can classify them as a farmer simply by them owning or about to own a piece of property that has the ability to generate farm income.
Wow.
So, you know, to answer your question, you know, someone might not see themselves as a farmer because oftentimes if there's trees on the property, they don't think of that as a crop. It's just, but it is. It's a long-term crop. You know, a tree has a longer cycle to produce. So you are looked at as some form of farmer. So the best thing to do is just to talk with a loan officer because we also have loans available for those that provide services to farmers and also do processing and marketing for farmers. So, you know, I would encourage anybody that if you think you might fit into the category, you're just not really sure, just give us a call because we're going to walk you through and ask some questions and we'll see if we can make you eligible.
If somebody is interested in finding out if they're eligible and if they can do business with you, what would be the best way to find out about your services and to get up?
Sure. We have a website. It's gorule.net. There's also a phone number that you can contact, 855-GO-RULE. And of course, we have our website, our traditional website, www.farmcredit-fl.com, and then our 800 number as well, 800-527-0647. So a number of ways to contact us.
That website and phone number on the screen right now. When we come back, I'd like to talk a little bit about the upcoming Melons in the Park. You guys are known in the community for being community involved. You sponsor a lot of activities. That makes good business sense, and a lot of people don't get the opportunity to find out more about you. So when we come back, if it's okay with you, let's talk a little bit about that Melons in the Park event.
Okay.
All right. We're talking right now to Emily Lowe, loan officer right here at Farm Credit of Northwest Florida. I'm certainly learning something. That's my litmus test. If I learn something in our shows, I figure our viewers probably will too. When we come back, we're going to talk to Emily just a little bit more about the upcoming Melons in the Park. This is an event totally free to the attendee, but not totally free. There's always a cost associated with putting on these events. In this case, Farm Credit of Northwest Florida is underwriting the cost. So when we come back, we're going to talk to Emily about Melons in the Park, and we will be right back. Welcome back. We're here today with Emily Lowe at Farm Credit of Northwest Florida, right here in beautiful Marianna. Again, we don't get the opportunity to get out of the studio nearly as often as we like, and today was a perfect time. The weather's beautiful. We're here arguably at some of the warmer time of year, but it's a beautiful day in Marianna. We're here to talk to Emily about Farm Credit of Northwest Florida's involvement in Melons in the Park. As we said before we went to the break, Emily, you guys are very community spirited. You're involved. You sponsor a lot of events. We see you at all the holiday themed events and so forth. The Marianna City Farmers Market, which is held at the Madison Street Park in downtown Marianna, is doing a series of events to try to draw people into that market. And their new event this year is Melons in the Park. You guys, what is your philosophy in getting behind events like this? It's got to be good for business.
Well, sure. And, we support agriculture not just through providing financing. It's important for us to support agriculture in all facets. If we aren't out there supporting events such as Melons in the Park and 4-H and FFA and providing scholarships, Advocator scholarships to students across our territory, we're not doing our job. We want to bring awareness to agriculture and the importance to keep that industry alive. So.
Well said, and I confess I didn't even look at it from that point of view. I know that you're a longtime sponsor of the Marianna City Farmers Market, just as a regular sponsor, but you guys have underwritten some of the entertainment that is going to be going on at Melons in the Park. So it makes sense. Now, I know that you're going to have an opportunity to have a table, and you're going to be passing out collateral, be able to meet and greet, talk to people a little bit. Will people be able to speak to you on site in broad strokes about perhaps I don't imagine you're going to want to take the time to try to qualify people,
Sure.
but you're certainly going to be able to explain some of your services, I would imagine.
Right. We will have some staff members out there at the event. Most people don't like to talk about their business at a leisure event, and we understand that. So what I would say is to get into more details, just make sure that you provide your name and phone number or email address to one of the Farm Credit employees, and a loan officer will get back with you very, very soon, and we can talk in more detail.
Yeah, and I like that. So in a non-invasive type of a setting, I think the big thing is that you can not so much make an appointment, but you can make that first contact. Mm-hmm. And so your loan officer will then be able to call them and set up an appointment at a mutual convenience.
Right. And we don't always have to. A lot of the business I do is over the phone. People are busy, clients are busy, and so we try to be as accommodating as possible. So we have clients that simply want to talk on the phone at a time that on their break, their lunch break, or when they get off of work. We have clients that actually want to come into the office and set an appointment, and that's okay too. And then we have some clients that they just want to handle their deal through email. And so we're very flexible from that standpoint, and we'll be here to help.
Well, for what it's worth, we appreciate your community mindedness. We appreciate you being a sponsor in specific to Melons in the Park.
Yes.
Are you going to have the opportunity to be there, or do you have other arrangements on the?
We have some other individuals that'll be there on Saturday. I unfortunately will not be able to be there, but I encourage everybody to bring their family out. It's a great event and a good way to get children involved so that they are aware of where their food comes from.
Check out Farm Credit of Northwest Florida. They're going to be sponsoring the Melons in the Park Festival. It's this Saturday, so if you're watching this and it's a few days from now, chances are you've missed the event. It looks like that this is going to be an annual arrangement, so possibly some kind of a cooperative partnership going forward. We won't speak to that at this moment because we don't know, but it's Saturday, June 16th. It starts at 8 a.m. and goes to 1 p.m. There's lots of entertainment, live bands, lots of watermelon, obviously. There's going to be entertainment, and the farmers market is going to be going on at the same time. So if you've been looking for an excuse to try out the Jackson County Growers Association / Marianna City Farmers Market at Madison Street Park, this is a great opportunity. Admittedly, if you go to the farmers market with your entire family, chances are the kids are going to get bored pretty quick. This is an opportunity. They've got a kid zone. I think they've got a cool zone, so you can bring your entire family. Your wife can peruse the vegetables and fruits. Maybe you and your kids can sit and watch the entertainment. However it divvies up, this is a great opportunity to come out, meet the great people from Farm Credit of Northwest Florida, and more importantly, enjoy this beautiful Marianna weather. It's June 16th, 2018, from 8 until 1. It's the inaugural Melons in the Park Festival, easy for me to say, and we hope to see you there. We'll be right back. Welcome back here today, still at Farm Credit of Northwest Florida, right here in beautiful Marianna. Enjoying this great building. If nothing else, come on out and take a tour sometime. You guys have a very large campus here.
We do. This is actually our administrative office. So we have our operations department, all of our C-suite clients, and then we also have, staff, and then we have our IT, financial accounting, and then we do have a lending and analysts here. So
My first visit, and I was kind of, watching the street numbers as I went by, and I expected you to be in a strip mall somewhere. And you guys, it looks like a campground here. I mean, you've got some beautiful property. How big a chunk of property do you have here? You have any idea?
I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, you guys have some acreage, though.
We do.
Yeah, beautiful. We're here, Emily, talking about Farm Credit of Northwest Florida. And the question that keeps coming to mind, and we keep talking about other things, is why would I, as a consumer, come to Farm Credit, and how can you help me? In what areas could you help me that maybe I couldn't be helped by traditional financing? Or why would I come to you instead of the bank that's around the corner from my house?
Sure, that's a very good question. And again, we're here to serve our core borrowers, the row croppers and the cattlemen and all. So we certainly are here to do that and all, but where we differ and how we can help a consumer is, generally some of the other lenders aren't able to finance larger pieces of property. Sometimes the limit is 10 acres, sometimes it's 20, and then beyond that, even if you've been a client with someone for so long and your lender wants to help you, they're not always able to. Farm Credit, we have that ability to be able to assist with any size acreage. We don't have any limits on acreage, so we can help somebody that's buying 1 acre, again, to thousands and thousands of acres. We've done hundreds of thousands of acres for a client before. So we don't have any limitations in terms of the size loan that we can assist with, because not only can we help the landowner that is buying a piece of property for recreation or to build a home, we can also help like sawmills, other companies that do processing. We have access to funding to be able to help at any level and any size. So those are big things. And again, back to the cooperative structure, why should you do business here? Our borrowers are our shareholders. They're the owners of the co-op. And so that's great. I mean, you have a lot of benefits. Not only do you get a say in how the co-op is run, in terms of voting for those that serve on the board, which many of them are member owners. But the big thing is that you get to participate in our patronage refund program. So what that is whenever, if you're not familiar with a cooperative structure, what that means is that when the association Farm Credit is profitable, and we have covered all of our capital needs and operating expenses, our board of directors can approve a distribution out to our member shareholders and return a portion of the profits back to our customers. That's huge because although it's not guaranteed, we do that every year. Just this year, we paid back over $6 million from our profits from 2017. And so, how cool is it to be able to get a check back around tax time usually that at the end of the day, it lowers your cost of borrowing. So
not unlike the electric co-op, for instance.
Yes.
It's member owned. Mm-hmm. If somebody has a loan with you, does that automatically make them a member?
Yes. In order to borrow money from Farm Credit, you do have to buy stock. And so that's $1,000 or 2% of the loan amount, and will never be more than $1,000. And that's your investment in the co-op. It doesn't earn anything, and you only have to have it once. So if you borrow $100,000 and you buy your $1,000 worth of stock, and then you come in and you need to borrow $500,000 or $1 million, you don't have to buy that stock again. But what happens is when all of your loans are paid off, then we return that $1,000 investment you make in the co-op back to you. So,
okay. So just because I'm kind of a simple guy and I like to keep things simple, basically if you are involved in agriculture in any fashion, whether it's trees or cows or row crops, as you point out.
Hunting.
Okay, so any kind of activities that deal with the agricultural or the land, basically. Mm-hmm. So obviously there are going to be some exceptions to that, but best way to find out is to go to the website or give that number on the screen right now a call. If I'm a young family just starting out, newlyweds, or if I'm an older couple, maybe downsized, or I'm just getting ready to possibly look to this part of Florida from somewhere else, and I know that I'm going to need financing. I'm looking for some land or a home or a combination. What would you say to those people to sort of interest them in maybe pursuing a discussion with you about financing?
Okay. So one of the things about Farm Credit is because we do want to make sure that agriculture stays at top of mind for everyone, is we do have a Young Beginning Small Farmer program. And so if you are a young couple or a young individual who wants to start your own farm, we have programs available to assist them. And we also work with the local farm service agencies to help get you started, because it's expensive to get into farming. And then as far as the couple that's getting ready to retire, certainly give us a call. You know, if you are still planning to do some kind of part-time work after you've retired, or you want to earn your income through doing some kind of hobby farming, you know, we're definitely interested in helping you. So,
pretty broad spectrum there. You deal with all ages, all stages of life, all types of people. I imagine yours is an interesting job.
It is. It is. I never know who's going to walk in the door, what their need will be. The best thing I can do, or any of our lenders can do, is to listen and ask good questions. Because oftentimes we'll have clients that come in that, if they've never done this before, because you have mainstream media out there, they may not know they may not know what to ask for or what they need. Sometimes all that's on their mind is, what's your interest rate? And so really the loan process is a lot more than that. And oftentimes we can try to figure out a way to help a customer achieve their goals and their dreams just by talking with them and learning a little bit more about what their end goal is.
How long have you been with Farm Credit?
In May, I celebrated my 14th year. I graduated from Florida State University in 2004 and started my career here with Farm Credit soon thereafter, so 14 years.
You love your job.
I do.
You can tell.
Yes.
Yes, you cannot hide that. You've
Yeah.
got a passion for helping people, which is the philosophy of the company. Sounds like you've made a perfect match with Farm Credit of Northwest Florida.
I have, and I've been able to meet so many people, and nothing makes me happier than to see someone be able to attain a piece of property or a goal, and knowing that Farm Credit was there to assist them.
I know I've taken you away from your work today, but thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
We're here today with Emily Lowe with Farm Credit of Northwest Florida, right here in Marianna. As you've heard, they service all of Northwest Florida, from Pensacola to Tallahassee in broad strokes, from the Alabama line all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. If you're in the market for a home, if you're looking for property, if you're looking to finance any of those things, give them a call. That number and website on the screen right now. As you've heard Emily say in her own words, they are here to serve, they are here to help. And if you in any of the vaguest ways have something to do with agriculture, with farming, with use of that land, you'd really need to check them out. Things have gotten better certainly in Florida. Properties are selling, homes are being built, properties are moving. We have overcome much of what we experienced back 10, 15 years ago when we had the downturn in the economy. We had several storms, and we had the oil spill, the perfect storm, all at one time. But things are good here in Northwest Florida, as you hear Emily describe, here today at Farm Credit of Northwest Florida. And give them a call. We'll be right back.